when I found that clarity on what to focus on, I realized that simple is easier for me, easier for my clients, and simple is much more powerful than running an overcomplicated business with a million moving parts. Welcome to the Self-Paid Club podcast. I'm your host, Samantha Peddle, a small-town wife and mom who started my first business at 17 and never looked back. For over a decade, I've been helping other ambitious souls build insane wealth in both life and business. We believe that success comes from growth as the whole person, mastering your time, money, and mindset for a balance between all three. Ditch the hustle culture and achieve your dream life by embracing your own vibe, doing it weird, and doing it your way. This is your destination for all things business strategy, mindset work, success, personal development, marketing, and everything in between. If your mission is to build an empire while having fun, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. We tend to overcomplicate things when first starting our business. We think we have to show up in all the places, have all the tools, have a big offer suite with multiple offers already ready to go, and be the most perfect, polished version of ourselves right from the very start. If that were true, nobody would ever succeed. Talk about pressure. No wonder overwhelm and paralysis are common among new entrepreneurs if that's how we're thinking. So if you find yourself in this boat, wanting to start a business and feeling stuck at the very beginning because you don't even know what to prioritize first, or if you're already running a business but feel like you're just doing way too much to maintain in the long term, then let's bring it back to the basics. As you've probably heard me say already, after 13 years in the online business space, I know a thing or two about what's necessary for success. And honestly, it's really a lot simpler than you'd ever guess. You really only need 3 main things to be successful. These are the 3 things that I would focus on if I were starting from scratch today. Number 1, you only need 1 social media platform. No, you don't need to show up in all the places. If the vision of social icons is dancing in your head day and night, and the thought of Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, LinkedIn, X, Snapchat, and any other platforms are swirling around in your thoughts when you think about your business, toss out those thoughts. Clear your mind. I want a clean slate here. What I want you to do is pick 1 single social media platform that you'll start with. You will show up in this space to the absolute best of your abilities and pour all your marketing efforts into this 1 platform until you master it. You're not allowed to move on or expand to other platforms until you become a master of your primary choice. Your audience will know what to expect from you. You'll show up and do the damn thing consistently, and your audience will steadily grow. At that point, you may then, and only then, decide to add in an additional platform to your strategy. Or maybe you may never do that and you might just stick with the 1 and just that's your thing. Okay? Easy. Pick 1. But which one do you pick? This will depend on your industry or your niche and where your ideal clients are hanging out most. So when you're trying to decide on a platform, think about your ideal client's age, what they do for work, where they're scrolling the most, those sort of things. You want your primary platform to be a mix of somewhere you actually enjoy showing up. Like for example, if you despise LinkedIn and you just don't get it and you don't want to get it, then don't choose that as your primary because it'll be really hard for you to put in the right amount of effort to actually find success. You want to enjoy it. So a mix of somewhere you actually enjoy showing up and where your ideal client hangs out the most. A couple of the really strong platforms might be Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok. Those 4 are really, really good for a lot of industries. So I would consider taking a look at those if you're really lost. Here's why it's so important to focus on just 1 primary platform. Your audience can sense your energy. Your audience can sense your energy. If you feel the need to show up in multiple places, you're all of a sudden splitting your attention. You're splitting it. Rather than going all in on 1 platform, you're spreading yourself out and spreading yourself too thin. Your efforts are going to be watered down, which means your impact will also be watered down, right? You're watering down your efforts because you're showing up in too many places and you're overwhelming yourself. Your audience will be able to tell through your energy if you're not fully invested, and then that will translate to poor sales, and it'll just be a downward spiral from there. Mastering one platform will yield far greater results for you. Number 2, you need one place to send your audience off platform, so away from that social media site that you chose. You don't need a long link tree with 5, 10, 15 links on it. Gone are those days. You only need one place to send your followers so that you can convert them to paying clients. One place. This is the part where you can easily get distracted by shiny object syndrome. Shiny object syndrome, thinking that you need all the tools, right? Thinking you need every tool out there right away. It's the same concept as we talked about with social media. Don't spread yourself too thin with your efforts. The biggest downside to having multiple links or multiple places that you're trying to send your audience is confusion. You will confuse them. You're going to overwhelm them with choices, and then instead of choosing something to click on, they'll just choose to exit without clicking on anything, and you're going to lose them. Confusion loses clients. You don't want that. You need to make it easy for someone to click away from your social media into a place where you have more control. For this step, my highest recommendation would be an email list, no matter what industry you're in, an email list. If you only pick one place to send your audience off platform, let it be to an email list. You have full control over your list. You can control who sees it, how many people you send it to. You can segment your list into different sections based on their interests. You can communicate with them many, many times, and your email will always show up in their inbox. Unlike social media, when you post on social media, only about, 3% of your audience sees your post, depending on the platform. 3%, that's it. 3% of your followers see your social media posts. That's terrible. With your email, it will land in 100% of the inboxes, and they will either have to click and open it or delete it. So they have to make a conscious decision whether they want to read your email or not. Email lists are absolutely fantastic for exposure. Now, with that being said, Flowdesk is my all-time favorite email marketing solution. Flowdesk. They have modern templates. This interface is super user-friendly with drag and drop features to set up your workflows and your email campaigns. And the pricing itself is not based on the number of subscribers like a lot of the other platforms. It's actually just a fixed price every month or every year, which is fantastic if you plan to grow your list very big, which if you're growing an email list, why would you not want a really big list, right? So the pricing is really friendly in that manner. Now, once you create your account, a great way to drive traffic to your email list and gain subscribers is through the use of lead magnets. These can be free, they're also known as freebies, or even low-priced downloadable files. So for example, a niche-specific PDF guide that offers advice or helps someone get from A to B. You can even make multiple lead magnets, like I'd say 2 to 3. I'd recommend making 2 to 3 lead magnets, and then rotate talking about them every week on your social media account. This is a proven way to convert your followers into email subscribers and get them into a space where you have more control. All right, from there, you could then set up a welcome sequence with Flowdesk that sends an email every few days for the first couple of weeks after someone signs up. So say someone downloads the lead magnet, then they would drop onto your welcome sequence. And then after your welcome sequence is complete, say after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, however long you make it, then they would start to get your consistent emails. Say, I typically recommend weekly emails, sending a weekly email at the very minimum. So you're sending weekly emails, people are signing up, getting your welcome sequence. Once the welcome sequence is done, then they'll drop onto your weekly emails that you send out manually. This schedule will help to warm up your leads and get them ready to buy when you actually talk about your offer, which you will also do in your emails. Make sure you switch up your email topics between giving value, telling stories, and selling. If you sell in every single email and offer nothing else, then you'll likely get more unsubscribes, right? You'll get more unsubscribes than if you were, say, rotating between giving value, telling stories, and then inviting them into your offer. You want to give your subscribers a reason to stay on your list. All right, number 3. Lastly, you need one core offer to focus on. You don't need multiple offers or a big offer suite, especially in the very beginning. Of course, when I say this is geared more towards online coaches, course creators, entrepreneurs selling digital products, and so on in that space. This wouldn't apply if you're running an e-commerce store with like a whole bunch of different products for sale. This is for the other space. So having one core offer allows you to create the offer really thoughtfully for your ideal client and then sell it over and over and over and over. Again, you don't want to spread yourself too thin or confuse your audience on what they should buy. So talking about one thing consistently will help to convince them that it's the place to be. They won't be confused on what they should buy. They'll know, oh, she has this one offer. Do I want it or not? Simple decision. Now, as your business grows, yes, you can have multiple different things in your offer suite. But even in that case, I would still recommend picking one that you make your core offer and then push that one the most in your marketing efforts. If you do have multiple offers, you can rotate between them like every few months or each new season and do like launches like that. But I would not recommend talking about multiple offers simultaneously because again, then you're introducing confusion, right? You're introducing confusion on which one someone should purchase. Let me tell you a quick story about my own experience with this. For years, actually the entire first 12 years I was involved in the online business space, I was trying to grow multiple social media accounts. I had multiple businesses running at the same time with multiple social media accounts for each business. So imagine how much of a nightmare that was. And I had a ton of different offers. So that in itself is crazy. But even if we just talk purely about my coaching business, I had my courses, I had a template shop with worksheets and templates and downloadable files for sale. I had social media and website audits that I was offering, and I was also offering one-on-ones. That is so much at once. I liked to think I knew what I was doing because I was a business coach, right? But in reality, like I know my stuff, but in reality, I spread myself so thin and I never knew which offer to promote. So although I was good at each one, I never knew which one to talk about. And that actually led me to shying away from selling and talking about my offers, which is absolutely counterproductive. Pro tip, if you're confused on what to sell, your audience is sure as hell confused on what to buy. So make sure you know what you're selling. If you don't know what you're selling and you're confused at your own offer suite, your audience will never buy from you because they are damn right confused as well. Now, it wasn't until last year in 2024 that I decided enough was enough. I closed a couple of the other businesses I was running so that I could focus purely on my coaching business. I burned my entire business to the ground and I started over. I literally started over from scratch. I closed all my previous courses, shut down the template shop. I removed the audits and the one-on-ones, and I started to focus solely on a brand new membership that I built where everything is housed under one roof. That's why Thrive was born and why I'm literally so obsessed with it, because it's my one core offer that no matter what I'm creating, I only have to talk about that one offer. All of my new training, masterclasses, templates, bonus content, whatever I make, all of it lives within Thrive. I set it up so that Thrive members get their hands on every new thing that I create. It makes my marketing super simple. It gives me freedom to keep creating and not having to make new offers every time. And it makes it really easy for my audience to determine what to purchase. It's either they want to work with me or they don't. There's no confusion, right? There's no confusion. It's just one thing. When I found that clarity on what to focus on, I realized that simple is easier. easier for me, easier for my clients, and simple is much more powerful than running an overcomplicated business with a million moving parts. There you have it. If I were starting over today, the only 3 things that I'd need in order to build my business and reach success all over again are 1 social media platform to master, 1 place to steer my audience off platform, and 1 core offer to focus on. If you have those 3 things, you can fly your business to the fucking moon. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Self-Paid Club podcast. If you found value, I'm asking for a little favor in return. Please rate the show and leave a quick review explaining how this podcast is impacting your business. I'd love to hear about it. Until next time, stay wealthy.